I would like to call the February 11th, 2013 meeting of the Board of Education to order. Ms. Etheridge will now do an invocation.
Good evening. I would like to read something that I really enjoyed reading to y'all concerning what do teachers make. The dinner guests were sitting around the table discussing life. One man, a CEO, decided to explain the problem with education. He argued, what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided his best option in life was to become a teacher? To emphasize his point, he said to another guest, "You're a teacher, Bonnie. Be honest. What do you make?" Bonnie, who had a reputation for honesty and frankness, replied, "You want to know what I make?" She paused for a second and then began, "Well, I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I make a C+ feel like the Congressional Medal of Honor. I make kids sit through 90 minutes of class time when their parents can't make them sit for 5 minutes without an iPod, GameCube, or movie rental. You want to know what I make?" She paused again and looked at each and every person at the table. "I make kids wonder. I make them question. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them have respect and take responsibility for their actions. I teach them to write, and then I make them write. I make them read, read, read. I make them show all their work in math. They use their God-given brain, not the man-made calculator. I make my students from other countries learn everything they need to know in English while preserving their unique cultural identity. I make my classroom a place where all my students feel safe. I make them understand that if they use the gifts they were given, work hard, and follow their hearts, they can succeed in life." Bonnie paused one time and then continued, "Then when people try to judge me by what I make, with me knowing money isn't everything, I can hold my head up high and pay no attention because they are ignorant. You want to know what I make? I make a difference. What do you make, Mr. CEO?" His jaw dropped and he went silent. This time, if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you.
And now Ms. Rhonda James Davis, who's the principal at Currituck County Middle School, will introduce the students who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to have 3 of Currituck County Middle School's 8th graders, Abby Rippin, Monet Riddick, and Jacob Walton, come to lead us in the pledge.
Would y'all please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the school spotlight tonight is on Currituck County Middle School. And bring Ms. James Davis back up.
Good evening again. This time I'm going to ask for this whole front row here to join me. Again, 3 of our 8th grade students, Abby Rippin, Monet Riddick, and Jacob Walton, as well as Mrs. Burns and Mrs. Ellen Owens from the Extension Office will come up. This year at Currituck County Middle School, we are teaching a section of Earth Science for the first time. So tonight, I've asked their teacher, Mrs. Burns, along with the students, and Mrs. Owens to come up to share about a project that we're collaborating with the Extension Office on through our Earth Science class.
Good evening. I'm Kaylee Burns. I am the Earth Science teacher at Currituck County Middle School. And as she already stated, this is Monet Riddick, Abigail Rippin, Jacob Walton, and Miss Ellen Owens. And they're going to be sharing with you guys some of the cool and interesting things we're doing this year with the Earth Science curriculum, as well as the BP Biofuels pilot program, which is being implemented as well. And there's a PowerPoint as well that should be up.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Walton, and I am from Currituck County Middle School. We are here to talk to you about our new 8th grade Earth Science class, which is a high school credit. It is also the first time that it is being offered in Currituck County Middle School. We are also here to talk to you about our BP Biofuels pilot program.
Here's a little bit about our curriculum and what we are learning in our Earth Science class for our high school credit. First, we're learning about meteorology, atmosphere and patterns of global climate. Next is astronomy, which is roles as a body in space. Then lithosphere, processes and forces that affect it. Environmental studies, sustainability on Earth and effects on the biosphere. And last but not least is the hydrosphere, structure of and how humans use water. I'd also like to show you something neat. We did a graph of our water usage, and we explained what we used water for in our households.
They use an Excel spreadsheet and then turn it into a pie graph based off of how many gallons they use per day for each of the different things. So like a shower and a bath, a toilet, sink, dishes by hand, dishwasher, laundry, lawn, and other. So and they each created their own water usage graph. Okay, some things that we kind of did last year, but the main focus has been this year with the new curriculum, the new essential standards, is the science and inquiry and the literacy component. Our main focus this year in this class has been experiential learning, so a lot of hands-on type stuff, a lot of experiments. It's learner focused. We have learning teams, so everything is student-centered instead of lectures and copying notes and doing things the kind of old school way. It is a balance between life skills and the subject matter, so it's relating things that are in the curriculum to their everyday lives and them being able to apply it to their everyday experiences. It is multiple delivery mode strategies, especially the incorporation of technology, making sure that it's interactive and that the kids are engaged in their learning. The integration of revised Bloom's taxonomy. It's a lot of the use of higher order thinking questions, probes, and preparing them for the new format of the EOGs. So it's less multiple choice and more, short answer essay questions, causing them to think and explain their reasoning instead of just doing process of elimination. And research and evidence-based literacy and a reading component. They have learning teams where they do buddy reading. It's a little bit different than the EEC reading, elbow, knee, which they do in elementary school. They're given a text or an article, and they read with their buddies. It's about 2 to 4, paragraph by paragraph, and at the end of each paragraph they discuss, summarize, and ask questions. And this is done before any questions, worksheet, or a lecture is given, which allows them to take responsibility for their own learning and come to their own conclusions kind of first before a teacher tells them this is what you need to know, this is what you need to memorize. So they're kind of learning it on their own and then asking questions, and then I'm there to guide them.
Research shows that we remember 20% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we see, hear, and discuss, and 90% of what we see, hear, discuss, and practice. This is why we do experience-based learning.
Incorporated into our Earth Science class is the BP Biofuel Pilot Program, which is a partnership with British Petroleum, the 4-H Extension Office with Ellen Owens, NC State University, and Biofuel Center of North Carolina. Creating 21st century learners that understand the importance of researching, creating, and using renewable energy resources. It engages students in the reasons, resources, and processes for biofuel production via hands-on experimentation. It informs students in the economics, uses, and career choices in the biofuel industry. It encourages students to develop an independent energy culture using critical thinking skills and how to evaluate their role in environment matters. Last but not least, we will be able to define different biofuels such as ethanol, biodiesel, alternative feedstocks, and liquid fuels/electricity, as well as identify both the advantages and disadvantages of biodiesel. Ms. Ellen Owens would like to share some additional information.
Thank you, Abby. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say a big thank you, first of all, to Rhonda and Ms. Burns for taking this on and doing this biofuels pilot for us. She talks a lot about BP. British Petroleum America has funded this program along with the Biofuel Centers of North Carolina. And there are 11 counties in the state of North Carolina right now who are piloting this in the 4-H program. And it may be like we're doing through a school enrichment program. It also may be through the 4-H club program or some of the camp programs that they're doing. But we chose to do this with the schools. And again, I'm thankful to them for taking this on. She's mentioned a lot about life skills, and the 4-H program wants to teach life skills to young people. And so some of the things we're doing with this program is teaching the kids how to critically think through skills and link it back to some of the STEM careers that are out there and available to them. So we're hoping the kids will learn some skills that will help them carry on later in life and perhaps get a career in some of the STEM fields. So again, thank you. And thank you to the students for participating in this. If you guys have any questions, I'd be glad to entertain those. And I'm not a biofuels expert, so I will do my best.
Now, does the curriculum, does that come through 4-H Extension to the school?
It actually is created at NC State through several of the CALS departments. They work together to compile this. And so what they want to do is those 11 pilot counties see what works best for the children, what works best for the teachers. They're actually accepting feedback from them if there's something that may work better, a different way of teaching or some different experience that they've had that may help with that to improve it. So we'll hopefully get this out across the state after this pilot program. This school will be recognized in the curriculum once it is produced as one of the piloting counties, so that's a neat thing.
The students and I both do surveys at the end of each lesson, and that gives them feedback to what worked, maybe what didn't work.
You guys may want to come out to the classroom. I was there the other day, and they were testing potatoes. They decided which potato, a sweet potato or a white potato, would make the best biofuel material. And I think they got a little surprised when they figured out there was more starch in a sweet potato than there was a white potato. It was pretty interesting to watch. So they tested with iodine to see which one would be a better biofuels product.
Any other board members have any questions?
That's good.
Great.
Thank you.
Ellen, thank you, and the 4-H Cooperative Extension, and
Yes.
for
welcome. Thank
your
you.
partnership with the schools. Ms. Burns, thank you for taking that on. And also Abby, Jacob, and Monet, you did a great job tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely.
They have one more thing they do want to show you if you have just a minute. Their blogs. Jacob, you want to show them your blog?
All right, so now I will talk about something interesting and fun that we're doing in our earth science class. We are keeping an ongoing blog or data entries via kidblog.org, which allows us to interact with our teachers and peers. We also do web quests using outside resources, and we create formatted and documented responses to science in our world. All right, so this is Miss Burns' blog, and here she has all the requirements for when we have to make a new post, and she also lists extra websites and YouTube videos if we want to learn more, or virtual fun to just explore in the biofuels knowledge. All right, so this is an example of one of the blogs. I have 3 posts up right now. What I know about biofuels, what I want to know about biofuels, and my welcome page.
So this way, and then I can leave comments and their peers leave comments as well based off of what they read. It's kind of interesting, and they like it. They get to share what they thought about the different labs. And instead of paper pencil telling me what they learned, I can see it this way, which incorporates technology, and all 8th graders love anything to do with a computer. So. And I think that's about it.
That's great.
Any other questions for us?
Once again, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next we have a recognition, and it will be done by Ms. Scholler will do a recognition.
Good evening. Tonight I'd like to recognize and thank the Knights of Columbus who recently recognized many of our EC teachers, our exceptional children's teachers, in a ceremony and a gift giving down in Kitty Hawk on January 18th. Knights of Columbus raise money throughout the year so that they can award grants to our teachers to help their own students. So this year we had 21 of our exceptional children's teachers receive grants ranging from $125 to $270 for a total of $5,065. So we were very appreciative of that, and we want to thank them. Thank you.
Great. Are you going to send a letter on behalf of the board thanking them? Okay, next, need approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I motion we approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, student school board member report. Jonathan?
Yes, at the high school, the financial aid information meeting was last Thursday, February 7th. I attended myself. It's very informative. Victor Rodriguez, a senior at the high school, qualified for states in swimming. He participated, enjoyed himself, however, did not move on. Emily Latimer and Thomas Chandler, they both placed in the top 10 at the states tournament for indoor track this past Saturday. Cap and gown pictures will occur on Thursday, February 28th at 9 a.m. HOSA will be hosting a blood drive next Thursday, February 21st at 9 a.m. And all 4 of the basketball teams swept first flight last Friday, meaning that we now possess the Chris Heron Project Purple Ball, something I was very excited about. And our last home basketball game will be tomorrow versus Hertford County. It's senior night, so I can't wait. And now I'm going to pass it on to Thomas Posen, one of our junior board members, for some more county news.
All right, at Shawboro Elementary, the students presented a 5-star talent show on February 1st. And the students will present their Black History Month program on Tuesday at 9 o'clock and again at 6 o'clock. And Currituck High School's chorus will join them for the morning performance. And at Moyock Middle School, the cheerleading team won first place in the competition at First Flight on Saturday, February 2nd. The wrestling team won first place in the conference tournament at Elizabeth City Middle on February 9th. And Parent Night for information on future attendees of the high school will be on February 26th at 6:30. And now I'm going to pass it on to Rick Laggy for other news.
At J.P. Knapp Early College, the SAD Club had several notable accomplishments. One, raising funds for a charitable organization called Pennies for Patients during a loose change drive, and another, partnering with Jarvisburg Elementary to help students understand the significance of not making poor decisions. We also had 5 students make President's List at COA this semester, and applications are being taken from 9th graders for the 2013-14 school year up until March 1st. At Currituck County Middle School on February 19th, the CCMS Parent Information Night, in which Currituck County High School provides information to rising students, will be at 6:30. On February 21st, CCMS will host its Winter Awards program at 6 p.m. in the auditorium.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan, Thomas, and Rick. Next, field trip field trip request for next. Ms. Scholler?
Yes, we have one that's already occurred that you were polled and approved. That was Currituck County High School and Moyock Middle School All-District Band Clinic. Next, Currituck County High School Honors Band Festival at UNC Greensboro is February 14th through the 16th. J.P. Knapp Early College State Beta Convention in Greensboro, that's February 22nd and 23rd. Currituck County High School DECA Conference in Greensboro, that's March the 2nd through the 5th. J.P. Knapp Early College College Tours in Raleigh and Durham, that's March the 22nd and 23rd. And Currituck County High School FCCLA Leadership Competition is in Greensboro, and that's April 15th through the 17th. So a lot of good things going on for our students.
Really. Do I have a motion that we approve the field trips?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Ms. Schaller, all the paperwork's been turned in on all of them?
Yes, all the paperwork's turned in, chaperones are accounted for.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Do I have a motion that we approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next public comment session. And we have one person signed up, Ms. Kinzel.
Good evening, Dr. Dobney and members of the board. I just wanted to take this opportunity to be able to make an announcement for our community and for parents that may be watching this either live or on the web after the fact. But it's hard to believe we're already starting the planning for our 2013-14 school year, and we will kick that off by hosting a pre-enrollment information meeting for parents of eligible kindergarten age for the coming school year. In order to be eligible for kindergarten in August of 2013, children must be 5 by August 31st. August 31st, 2013. The parent meetings that we've scheduled are going to be held at each of the elementary schools, all on February 26th, beginning at 6 p.m., lasting till 7 p.m. Staff at each of the schools will provide parents in attendance with information regarding enrollment requirements, any kind of immunization, health requirements, and provide them with the packet so that they can walk out with it and be able to begin filling out some of those not so fun paperwork tasks that are necessary for us to be able to enroll them. After that meeting on the 26th, then we will collect completed registration forms or take in new enrollments at the registrar's office located central. That week is March 18th through the 24th. And our NCY's data managers and staff there will provide some extended evening hours to accommodate parents that are working and can drop off those forms afterwards. So we'd like to encourage everyone to please take this time to get them enrolled because those numbers help us to prepare for staffing for the coming school year and has budget implications. So get the word out. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Next information items, our next work session will be March 11th at 4 o'clock at the Knapp Professional Learning Center. Our next board meeting will be March 11th at 7 o'clock here. And our April board meeting and work session is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, April 17th. And we'll definitely let the public know by the next board meeting whether it will be the 17th or not. But we're tentatively scheduling that. And Wednesday is an unusual day for a board meeting for us. Okay, next, board member comments. Ms. Etheridge?
Yes, as you can see, all of the schools are very active. There's so much going on, whether it be sports or clubs. I urge everyone to get involved, and that's all I'd like to say. Just get involved. And another thing, texting and driving. I'd encourage our youth to not text and drive, and also our adults. It amazes me going down the highway and looking over at the person next to me, and they're texting while they're driving. So it's not just our youth, it's our adults as well. Thank you.
Jackie?
This past month I've had a chance to go to some really fantastic events our kids have put on. First off, I got a chance to go to the regional middle school cheering competition. Well, there was about 250 7th and 8th grade little girls cheering. I'd like to congratulate Moyock Middle School, who won first place. They did a fantastic job, and they beat out First Flight for first place. Next thing, I think Jonathan had already mentioned it, basketball game tomorrow night, senior night. They've had a great year. If you get a chance to come out and see them, please do so. Last but not least, I know Dr. Dobney and I had a chance to go down to Jarvisburg this past Friday to the Wax Museum. It was impressive. Kids were dressed up in different characters. You would go up and ask them who you were, and they would tell you the history of the person. They were dressed just like it was amazing how many looked like the person that they were dressed as. But it was really good to see our elementary schools involved in something like that.
Great. Ms. Kraft?
Yes, I also have been going to some sports events. I was at Moyock Middle School for some basketball games, and I just I had to write it down because so much is going on here with Moyock Middle School. The girls' volleyball and basketball teams were undefeated for their season. The volleyball team, conference and tournament championships. The basketball team, girls' basketball team, conference championships. Cheerleader competition champions. Wrestling first place championship. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with softball and baseball at Moyock Middle School.
Thank you. Ms. Gaddis?
I just want to say, again, I think I've said it every meeting I've been to, but I'm really proud of the kids that were here tonight and the parents that were here supporting them, the staff, etc. I'm looking forward to really hearing some outcomes out of the competitions and things for the field trips that we have approved tonight. I know that I was part of DECA when I was in high school, really enjoyed it, so I know that they'll get a lot out of those. And other than that, I think everybody remains safe, and see you next meeting.
Thank you. As Jackie said, we got to see the Living Wax Museum down at Jarvisburg, and it was quite impressive. And I would just like to say thank you to the two teachers who organized it, Leanne Heflin and Beth Williams, in their 4th, 5th combination classes. So once again, thank you to them. And it was amazing how much the kids looked like the people they were representing, and it went all the way from like Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Sacagawea,
Obama.
Oh, yeah, Obama, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I mean, and how many kids would you say were involved? Maybe 30?
Probably 30, yeah.
But it was quite impressive. I also, the day before that, I toured Jarvisburg Elementary and Griggs Elementary. Showed up unannounced, checked in, and went into a number of teachers' classrooms. And I'm proud to say that in every classroom I went in, the kids were actively engaged in learning. And that is, very impressive. Not a single one was off task. And even when I walked in, if they gave me a glance, they were back to doing, what they were supposed to be doing. And it's just really nice to see that, because that's, the root of education, students to be actively engaged in learning. And with that, do I have a motion we adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll see everyone at the next meeting.